take a look at these beautiful bottles. Can't you just see the history? Well, we mentioned before the break that my guest co-host today, Sheriff Mike Lewis, we mentioned that not only are you a sheriff, busy doing all those duties, but you're also a bottle collector in your spare time.
I am.
Yeah, so we had to see some more of your collection here, but this isn't only your collection right here. You have a little mix of your pal,
Absolutely.
Bill Sims.
Mr. Bill Sims, everybody knows Mr. Bill Sims is notorious for his bottle collecting all over this region.
Really?
And he has got quite a collection. And when we talk about being on the show, there's one man that came to my mind that really has perfected the art of bottle collecting and knowing the institutional knowledge that he possesses.
Yeah.
He's someone that I go to a lot when we talk about bottles. And so there's only one other person that I knew had to be on this show with me today, and that's Mr. Bill Sims.
Had to.
Absolutely.
Bill, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Yeah.
I enjoy being here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How and when did you get into bottle collecting?
Well, it started with the two sons. We hunted bottles in the woods instead of deer.
Really?
And now, whether we don't criticize people who go hunt for that, but we felt it was safe.
Mm-hmm.
We enjoyed it. We started, 60 years ago, give or take.
60 years ago.
Well, I was into my 20s, and I'm getting beyond that now.
Yeah, only just a bit, only a little bit. And so what is it about bottle collecting that you guys love so much?
Well, my interest is in anything before 1900.
Anything before 1900?
Before 1900.
Is that what some of these
most
are?
of mine, like this one here is 1700.
This one here?
That's 1700.
That's 1700.
1700.
That's it. I got that down in Virginia down there.
So what bottle it says English wine.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and that's not necessarily a high-end one, but some of them have marks on them. When the marks are on them, I'm trying to think of what they call it. But then you're talking about 4 and 5 times the value.
Yeah.
Now this one is another one. This is a Lafayette fruit jar, and this. Look at the closure on this. You remember you got an old screw cap on a mason jar.
Wow.
I've never seen one like this.
Really?
When I saw this earlier, it's a Lafayette jar, but I've never seen a closure or a lid quite like this. It's the first one I've ever seen.
And now, obviously, we have quite the collection, even just here. And I know this doesn't even begin to show a fraction of either of your collection. Where do all these come from?
Well, one thing's for sure. Glass making goes back to 4,000 years ago.
Wow.
4,000 years ago. Now, you've got one here from the 1700s, but the bottle making industry was huge in the 1800s, especially in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And then it really became the #1 industry in the early 1900s when they got the automatic bottle machines. Back then, everything was in a mold. It was blown. It was in a mold. They were pieced together. And if you look at these bottles, you notice how the seam goes up to here.
Yep.
It doesn't go all the way up to the top.
Right.
That means the final portion had to be applied. They had to apply the top on that. So that's a Pocomoke City bottle, Mr. Bill, for Pocomoke City. And these old bottles here, they don't make them anymore. They don't make any of these anymore. And I think it's to me, it's like the archaeological part of digging for these bottles. Mr. Bill said it a while ago. I can't tell you how many bottle piles I have found in the woods throughout the years while I've been deer hunting. Most of the bottles that I'm collecting now, and I still dig, I dug earlier this year, most of my bottles now I'm getting at bottle shows or from other collectors.
Gotcha.
And you've got people like Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill's 95 years old and still has as much interest in bottle collecting today as he ever has.
That's
and he's passed that love down to both of his sons, Lee and Doug. And I love bottle collecting. I love the archaeological finding of going out and looking for bottles.
Bill, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us today. I mean, sharing your bottles, sharing your knowledge, this is cool stuff. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Great hobby.
I'm sure it is. Thank you so much. DelmarvaLife, we'll be right back.
Want to watch more? Visit us at DelmarvaLife on YouTube for daily uploads of your DelmarvaLife favorites. While you're at it, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at DelmarvaLife to keep up to date with everything happening on Delmarva. You're watching DelmarvaLife, and we'll be right back.